Big news has now arrived on Gunners. You want to know all the details, so follow me until the end of the video. But first, if you are in love with Arsenal, show your love and subscribe to THE channel now and turn on notifications. Here we post daily news and behind the scenes of the biggest club in THE Premier League, Arsenal. Thank you.
World-class Mikel Merino hailed as a genius after stunning hat-trick for Spain. Arsenal midfielder Mikel Merino was showered with praise after stealing the spotlight for Spain with a sensational hat-trick in their emphatic 6-0 victory over Turkey in Sunday night's World Cup qualifier. Merino, who has quietly become one of La Roja's most consistent performers, delivered a midfield masterclass in Konya and capped it off in style. All three of his goals came before the hour mark, with the third a thunderous strike from 25 yards that left the Turkish goalkeeper rooted to the spot. It was a performance that had fans and pundits alike raving, and Spain boss Luis de la Fuente didn't hold back in his admiration. "We have some fantastic players, and Mikel is another great example of someone who does so many things well," de la Fuente said. "He's a genius, a world-class player, and yet he often goes under the radar here in Spain. He's one of the very best in the world in his position. What we have in this team are good people, humble, hard-working players who want to keep growing." For Merino, the night was unforgettable. Not only was it his first ever career hat-trick, but it also extended his red-hot scoring streak to 6 goals in his last 7 appearances for Spain, a remarkable run for a player traditionally known more for his work rate and distribution than his goal tally. Now 29, Merino has also been showing his value in North London. Last season, during an injury crisis at Arsenal, Mikel Arteta deployed him as an emergency forward, a move that appears to have unlocked a new level of attacking threat in his game. "It's incredible. I'm beyond excited. Honestly, I'm so happy," Merino said after the match. "It's my first hat-trick. I'm not used to scoring so many goals. To score 3 for my country, on a night like this, against a team like Turkey, is just magical. It's one of those nights I'll remember for the rest of my life." He also praised the unity and belief within the Spanish squad. "We knew it was going to be a tough match. Playing away in Turkey, with their passionate fans behind them, is never easy," he added. "But we were confident. We always go out believing we can win every game. We didn't expect a 6-goal margin, but from the first whistle, we played our hearts out, respected our opponent, and thankfully, the goals came." Arsenal fans take notice. With Merino hitting top form on the international stage, Arsenal fans are starting to see why Mikel Arteta has placed so much trust in the Spaniard. His intelligence on the ball, physical presence in midfield, and now a newfound eye for goal make him one of the most complete midfielders in Europe today. As the Premier League season resumes, Merino's confidence will be sky high, and that could be a game-changer for the Gunners as they push for domestic and European glory. A hat-trick that sends a message to Spain and to Arsenal. Merino's hat-trick doesn't just mark a personal milestone, it also sends a powerful message to both Spain and Arsenal. For Luis de la Fuente, it's a clear signal that the midfielder should be central to Spain's plans heading into next summer's World Cup. And for Mikel Arteta, it reinforces what he already knows. Merino isn't just a dependable squad player, he's a potential game winner. Back at Arsenal, his rise is being watched closely. The timing couldn't be better. With injuries still impacting key players and a grueling fixture list ahead, Merino's versatility and newfound goal threat could prove vital. His ability to slot into multiple midfield roles, from deep-lying playmaker to advanced box-to-box, offers Arteta options few managers have. Moreover, fans have taken notice. Social media was flooded with praise after the match, with many Arsenal supporters calling for Merino to take on a more central role in the squad, especially in matches where creativity and composure are needed in the final third. "He's flying right now. Confidence, intelligence, leadership, you name it, he's got it," tweeted one fan. "We need to build more of our midfield play around him. He's showing levels. Leadership, maturity, and a tactical edge." Merino's maturity has also stood out. Now entering his peak years, the 29-year-old brings not only technical ability but also a calm leadership presence, something Spain and Arsenal both value highly. His understanding of space, timing, and pressure situations has matured immensely since his earlier days in La Liga and the Bundesliga. With Granit Xhaka's departure last season and Thomas Partey's ongoing fitness concerns, Arsenal's midfield needed someone to step up, and Merino is doing just that, both on and off the pitch. Arteta has previously spoken about Merino's tactical intelligence, noting his ability to adapt to different game plans and opponents. That adaptability, paired with his current form, could see him take on a bigger role in crunch fixtures, especially in the Champions League knockout stages, where experience and control become essential. What comes next? Spain's next matches will be watched even more closely, with fans and pundits eager to see if Merino can maintain this form. If he does, a permanent starting role at the World Cup feels inevitable. At Arsenal, he returns to London Coney with the wind at his back, and perhaps with a bigger spotlight than ever before. Arteta will likely look to harness that momentum as Arsenal prepare to face Nottingham Forest and a string of difficult opponents in both domestic and European competitions. If Merino can carry his international brilliance into club form, it could be the spark Arsenal needs to push past their rivals and secure silverware this season. Because when Mikel Merino is at his best, calm, clinical, commanding, there aren't many midfielders in the world who can match him. 3 ways Arsenal can get the best out of Gabriel Martinelli. Gabriel Martinelli hasn't had the smoothest start to the season, but if there's one thing Mikel Arteta has made clear, it's this: the Brazilian still has a major role to play in Arsenal's future. The timing of the international break isn't ideal for most fans, but for Martinelli, a pause might actually be a blessing. After a slow start and increasing competition for his place, a brief reset could be just what he needs to rediscover his spark. With the arrivals of Eberechi and Noni Madueke, and Leandro Trossard still very much in the picture, the left wing has become Arsenal's most hotly contested position. And while that could be seen as a threat to Martinelli's starting spot, it could also serve as motivation. To his credit, Martinelli recently earned a start for Brazil in their 3-0 win over Chile, which should do wonders for his confidence. And with the World Cup next summer looming large, he'll be eager to prove he deserves to be there, both for his country and his club. Here's how Arsenal can help him get back to his brilliant best. 1. A change of position. Let's be honest, the left wing is crowded. Arteta now has 4 international caliber players vying for that one spot. So, why not unlock Martinelli's potential elsewhere? While he's been less effective cutting in from the left recently, scoring just 5 goals since January, there's evidence he can shine in a more central role. One of those goals came at Anfield in May, when Arteta moved him centrally in the second half. The 24-year-old has experience as a striker and was originally brought in under Unai Emery as a versatile forward. With Kai Havertz currently sidelined, and Arsenal lacking natural pace through the middle, Martinelli could offer a more direct, dangerous alternative up top. He's quick, aggressive, and fearless in the final third, and if Arsenal want to be more vertical in their play this season, using him as a central forward might be the shake-up he needs. 2. Change the players around him. Martinelli's dip in form isn't just about him. It's also about what's changed around him. Back in the 2022-23 season, when Martinelli was Arsenal's top scorer, the left flank was one of the team's biggest strengths. Granit Xhaka, Oleksandr Zinchenko, and Gabriel Jesus created overloads, rotations, and space that Martinelli thrived on. Now, that chemistry is gone. Xhaka has left, Zinchenko has struggled with consistency, and Jesus, perhaps the most important link in that trio, is once again dealing with injury setbacks. The Brazilian duo had a natural understanding. Jesus often drifted wide, drawing defenders and creating the perfect channel for Martinelli to attack inside. But hope isn't lost. New signing Victor Gyökeres could bring that connection back. The Swedish striker also favors the left channel and loves combining in tight spaces, something Martinelli could benefit from enormously. Similarly, the introduction of Piero Hincapié at left back, who enjoys overlapping runs, could open up space for Martinelli to cut inside, just like he used to. And with Declan Rice thriving as a number 8, pairing him with ease, whose creativity and flair could unlock defenses, might be exactly what Martinelli needs to regain rhythm and confidence on the wing. 3. Build his confidence, and back him publicly. Confidence is everything in football. And right now, Martinelli looks like a player trying to find his. Before the summer transfer window closed, Arteta was asked directly whether Martinelli could be on the move, and he didn't hesitate with his answer. Gabby has been a super important player for us, and he will continue to be very, very, very important, Arteta said. We need him, especially in the front line, both to start games and to finish them. I'm very happy with what we have. That kind of public backing can't be underestimated. For a player going through a rough patch, knowing that your manager still believes in you, even when you're not at your best, can be the difference between fading out and fighting back. Yes, Martinelli may lose his spot in the starting 11 temporarily, but to count him out would be a huge mistake. The season is long. Injuries, rotation, and form will all play a part. If last year taught us anything, It's that squads win titles, not just starting 11s. And Martinelli, with his pace, energy, and relentless work ethic, will no doubt have a big say in what Arsenal achieve this season. Conclusion. Gabriel Martinelli has always been a fighter, from his early days at Ituano to becoming one of the most exciting wingers in Europe. And with the right tweaks, a positional shift, better support around him, and continued backing from Arteta, there's no reason he can't get back to the electric form that made him a fan favourite. The spark is still there. It just needs a little fuel. As the Premier League campaign picks up momentum after the international break, all eyes will be on how Mikel Arteta reshapes his attack, and whether Martinelli can reclaim his place in an increasingly competitive frontline. The pressure is growing, not just from new signings like Eze and Madueke, but from Arsenal's fans and the media alike. Expectations are sky-high this season. After narrowly missing out on the title last year, the club has invested heavily and built a squad with depth in nearly every position. That depth, however, is both a blessing and a challenge for players like Martinelli. Where once he was an automatic starter, he now finds himself needing to prove his value all over again. But this is not uncharted territory for the Brazilian. At just 24, he's already overcome serious injuries, adapted to different systems, and played a key role in one of Arsenal's most exciting rebuilds in 2 decades. Now, the challenge is different. It's about evolution, not survival. If Arteta can guide Martinelli through this period, the rewards could be huge. A confident, in-form Martinelli gives Arsenal something no one else in the squad does: an explosive wide threat with elite acceleration, relentless pressing, and the ability to produce goals out of nothing. He's the kind of player who thrives in high-stakes moments, and Arsenal will need plenty of those as they chase silverware on multiple fronts. There's also the looming shadow of international football. With Brazil expected to take a strong squad to next summer's World Cup, Martinelli knows that his club form over the next few months will likely determine whether he's on the plane. That kind of motivation, if channeled correctly, could ignite his season. Behind the scenes, Arteta and his staff are said to be closely monitoring his workload and tailoring his training to reignite his sharpness. Sources close to the club have hinted that a new role, potentially as an inverted winger or even a second striker, is being tested in closed-door sessions at London Coney. Meanwhile, the fan base remains divided. Some believe Martinelli's ceiling is too high to ignore, and he should be backed through his dip in form. Others argue that players like Trossard and Eze deserve their shot based on recent performances. It's a healthy debate, and a sign of just how far Arsenal have come. Squad rotation is no longer a weakness, it's a strength. What's certain is that Martinelli's story at Arsenal is far from over. In fact, this may be the beginning of a new chapter, one that tests not just his talent, but his resilience. Arsenal have dreams of lifting the Premier League trophy this season. If they're going to do it, they'll need contributions from every corner of the squad. And when Martinelli finds his form again, and he will, he could be one of the key difference makers in that title charge. Because when he's firing, there are few wingers in world football as dangerous, direct, and determined as Gabriel Martinelli.